Hello and welcome to episode 63, 9 Steps to Getting a Remote Job. Now, in the last 10 episodes, I hope you've been getting the true picture of the scale of the remote opportunities available to you when it comes to remote work and the remote workforce. The opportunity is growing and more companies are considering it actually a strategic imperative. It's a win-win on both sides, and that will continue, the win-win, of course. It's not a fad, and most of all, companies are actively scouring the globe for you and your specific skill set. So let's help you get a remote job. There are 9 steps, and the first 5 are kind of set and forget, and then the following 4 are the kind of regular daily job search steps that you want to undertake. So I'll go into more detail about some of these steps over the coming episodes as well, so that you know exactly how to do what I'm going to share. Now, if you're listening to this episode and at any point think, oh my gosh, how do I apply this to me? Don't worry, you can work with me one-on-one as well. I offer 30-minute career consults. Just head over to stephanieholland.co/career consult for more information and to book. Okay, so how long does the remote job search take? Well, it's actually a piece of string. I think it really depends on the quantity. Doesn't depend on the quantity. It depends on the quality of your application, okay, that you do daily. So when I'm looking seriously at the end of a creative project like this one, having completed podcast season 3, I'll be doing 2 to 4 quality applications a day, and typically I find a role within 2 to 4 weeks. Now it really depends on what you're looking for, and mostly on how fast you get your application in. If you're number 259 in the queue, that's probably not going to work out for you, but if you're within the kind of first 20, then you've got a pretty good chance. Now, a word of warning. Some roles will be receiving upwards of 3,000 applications, but don't let this put you off. People who are on the ball and ready to hire will be watching the applications roll in, and they'll be switching off the job post before it gets out of control. So if you do see people or do see job apps, you can see on LinkedIn, for example, how many applications there have been, and there have been 259. You might not want to get involved with that recruiter or that company. Now, these quality employers instead will send you an email confirmation that your application has been received, and they will follow up with you either way, okay? That's a given. If they don't, you don't want to work with them anyway. Now, if they don't have a formal process and a workflow in place for hiring, then likely other parts of their business will be disorganized as well. So more on that in a future episode called Red Flags. Okay, so step 1, let's get into the steps. Believe in yourself. This is the most important ingredient of the remote job search, because you have to believe in yourself and what you can bring to the role and the company. Always have to wait a little bit for the trucks to pass. That's a Corona truck. Okay, so you need to believe in yourself and what you can bring to the role and the company. But this is the key to achieving everything, isn't it? Now, this goes so much further than your skills and qualifications alone. This will affect the roles you apply for, the quality of your application, and how you show up for the hiring process. Now, when you know you have the 6 ideal traits of a remote worker that we talked about in episode 54, and you know the most important skill, episode 60, and the 4 essential characteristics that we mentioned in episode 61, then you're off to a great start, and that should make you feel confident alone. Your professional skills and experience will be the icing on the cake, and you'll start strong. Step number 2, know what you're looking for. Now, it's really good to have 3 to 4 different search criteria so that you can unearth more opportunities for yourself. But you really need to know exactly what you're looking for first, what you want to do. Now, if you have the podcast pack, you crafted a vision for your lifestyle and work style already. And then in worksheet 3, you compiled your dream company criteria. And in episode 56, we talked about the 5 different remote work contracts. So based on all of that, plus your skills, experience, and career vision, you'll have all of this covered for this step. If you haven't got your copy of the podcast pack, head over to the show notes at stephanieholland.co/63, and you can grab your copy there. Step 3, set up your CV or resume if you're in the US. Now, this is true of any job, right? Your CV should be tailored to each role you're applying for. It's not a one-size-fits-all. Now, I'm from the UK, where it's actually been okay to have a 2 to 3 page CV, but in the US, no matter your experience, it's really better to use a 1 page. That's just the culture. Now, I actually find a 1 page really useful now because it forces me to think of the 4 to 5 most relevant roles for each application. It simplifies the process for me. It forces me to think about my alignment with with the role, and it makes it easy for employers to scan and make an instant decision about me. Now, we are going to talk about this, your CV and resume, in a lot more detail in one of the next few episodes. And also in the podcast pack, I'll share my exact CV template format so that you can use it too. Step 4, revamp your LinkedIn profile. Now, this is so important because everybody seems to check LinkedIn for your headline, your profile, testimonials, and your activity. It really helps to have thoughtful comments and posts written about your areas of interest, as well as posts and articles that demonstrate your expertise and personality. Not a lot, just a couple. Now, your who, what, why headline can help employers connect with you instantly. And now this topic will definitely be a future episode. So watch this space. Step 5, search in the right places. Now, this is the final step you need to kind of just set and forget. And this is choosing which 3 to 5 job boards or platforms that you are going to do targeted searches on regularly and set up alerts for. Now, this is so that you don't get overwhelmed and scatter yourself too thin looking across too many places. Now, you can either check in 10 minutes a day to see what the latest offerings are. Actually, this is what I do because I like this really fresh approach. Or when you work with me one-on-one for a remote career consult, I actually recommend the top 3 to 5 job boards that you can be checking on to yield the greatest breadth of opportunities for your particular expertise. Or you can set up alerts. I prefer not to set up alerts because I like to keep my email inbox really, really clean. I just like to check daily. So anyway, I'm getting really scattered today. Okay, so to book a career consult, you know where to go, stephanieholland.co/career consult. It's just 30 minutes and I give you so much information and a great strategy to help you refine your career search. Okay, step 6, assess the job posting. Now, you're going to start your daily job search at this point because steps 1 to 5 are all about that set and forget foundation. Now, assessing the job posting, each job posting that you apply for is something that I'll definitely do a whole episode on because there are certain things to look out for. But being able to deconstruct the job post, suss out their company culture, their remote culture, and assess the culture fit and opportunity for you is really important. Now, this also includes how to research the CEO or the C-suite. Yes, this is really important. Now, there are several things to look for, like whether it's written in the first person or the third person, or whether they include the salary bracket or not, which speaks a lot to transparency. This is going to be a really cool episode. Step 7, do your research. Before applying, it's really important to do a little bit more research about the company to make sure you really want to help them achieve their vision and mission. It will really benefit you to care about their cause, to be motivated by their goals, especially when, there's no one looking over your shoulder to make sure you're showing up for work. So check their website, try out their product if possible, look at customer reviews, read their blog, check out what other people say on social media and what other people say about them in general. Step 8, avoid the scams. So you need to do a quick scam check, right? I'm going to do a whole episode on this, so don't worry. Step number 9, create a really great application. Now, this goes so far beyond clicking apply now and sending a cover letter and your CV. I'll share my tricks with you to help you stand out from the crowd, even if it's a crowd of 3,000, including how to demonstrate your tech skills without even specifying them in your CV or cover letter. So many of you are worried about not having the right tech skills. But if you do a few things that I'm going to share with you, you can show them you've got what it takes without having to tell them. And besides, we covered tech skills in episode 62. So those are the 9 steps, only 4 of which are the daily job search steps. I think it's really important to know whether this process takes you 2 weeks or 2 months. If you do your due diligence and commit to the process and keep creating quality applications with your heart and soul, your intentions and personality will shine through. You will find something at some point. You just have to stay in the game until you get the results you're looking for. So, As always, there is a cheat sheet for this episode. It's worksheet 9, I think, in the podcast pack. Not sure. You'll find it. If you don't have the podcast pack yet, don't worry. You can grab a copy in the show notes, stephanieholland.co/63. So that's it for me this week. I'll see you next week on Thriving Empire Podcast. But until then, keep living and working on your own terms so that you could build a career and a life that you really want simultaneously. See you next week. Bye.